Going to show you an issue that I've been running into with my 2018 Nissan Rogue. It started getting stuck in park, and when I would pull the shift lock button on the shifter, it would take several attempts for the trigger to actually release the shifter so I could shift it out of park. And I tried searching online for fixes for this, and I found several sites that talk about the old generation Rogues, and um, there's a replacement switch and stuff for the solenoid, but I couldn't find anything that looked like my shifter. Evidently, they redesigned it on the 2017-18 models, so you can't really see these switches very well in the shifting mechanism. Um, but I did finally find a picture of the actual solenoid and switches that matches my vehicle, and it evidently there is a park position interlock switch that has to be engaged for the solenoid lock to release. And I noticed that on my car, if I wiggled the shifter, pulled on the shifter backward, it would start to release the solenoid. Um, so this is the solenoid here in this picture, and um, the this one right here is the parking interlock switch, and it sits below the solenoid. And I've got the console apart, and it's very difficult to see the switch. I can't actually see it, but if I reach in there, I can feel it. So I'm going to show you what I've got here. So this is the the shifter um, locking button that releases the solenoid to shift out of park. And normally you can you can hear, see if you can see it disengage. You can see the solenoid disengaging when I press the brake pedal. But what was happening was this wasn't happening, and I had to pull back on this for that solenoid to release. And then I could finally press the button and shift out of park. Um, and after doing a lot of searching, it sounded like it was a result of the parking interlock switch not detecting that it was in park. So it's extremely hard to see, but the solenoid mechanism is right down in here. And you can see the wires. Those green and red wires are down, leading to the solenoid into the switch below it. Um, as I was saying, you can't see the switch, but when this shifter is pushed forward, it pushes against the switch down inside there. So what I ended up doing is I I detached the shifting cable for the transmission. I disconnected it from the shifting mechanism. That gave me a little bit extra room so I can reach down inside there. And once I reached down inside there, I could feel the switch. And what I did is I pushed the metal actuator on the switch back towards the back of the car as far as I could press it. Um, there's not much room in there for it to move, but I just put a lot of pressure on it, and that forced that metal actuator to bend forward a little bit. And now the solenoid is working every time. Um, it looks like this is probably a temporary fix. Um, Once it acts up on me again, I'm going to order a new solenoid mechanism and just replace the whole thing. Um, Fortunately, it looks like it's a lot of work to get to that switch. You have to take the entire center console, this whole part here, the back part of the solenoid, or not solenoid, but the console back here. You have to pull, this is like one whole big piece of plastic, so you have to pull this whole thing out. And then once you do that, you can get to the bolts down below to take the shifting mechanism out. And then from there, you can get to the solenoid switches. But I wanted to share this in case anyone else is having this issue.